Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today is the second day of the best of 30 days of sketches, and this is today's sketch made by Susanna Lee. Has some kind of like a piece of a chevron and a couple photos. Now, I'm in the process of cleaning my room, and I found these three pieces of paper that I had put together because I guess I was going to scrapbook with them. I think this is actually a part of a kit that I used for a monthly kit for scrapbooking, and this is what I had left over in it. And I mean, single-sided paper. This one is double-sided, but it's very thin. But you know, the colors are great, so let's see what I can do. All right, guys, this layout comes together pretty quickly, and it's because of two reasons. One, I had these papers that had that exact kind of check mark inside of it, so I already had that going for me, and I still had my thickers where it says Major Heart Eyes out on the table, because if you guys remember, I said I wanted to use those up in a recent video, and I used them up, so more packaging went into the trash. I find it to be a personal victory when I throw packaging away. So I am literally going through every single thing in my scrapbook room right now. I am laying hands on every single item, touching it, testing it out, making sure it's not dried out, making sure it's good, making sure nothing has turned, because, you know, sometimes your mixed media stuff goes bad. I'm also combining things, combining stickers, combining my mixed media together. Same colors, but I have two jars open of it, so I put them in the same jar. I'm just trying to make the room work. In general, the room flows really well, but I'm trying to just make it flow a little bit better. So I say all of that because all of this stuff was in the top of my mind. I've recently touched about 70% of the room, and I knew that these things would go well. So I did not like how the photos kind of got lost over top of this paper. I thought I was just going to flip over that pink paper and use white and have a white border around them, but that really wouldn't have worked. One, I'm using white thicker, so it would have just kind of, you know, faded into there. Plus, against the background, it didn't really make the photo pop. It kind of made the photo just kind of like be there, and I want the photos definitely to pop. Now, I did not cut the photos in different sizes on purpose. This was an accident. I had cut the photo out of myself before, like, I don't know when, but it's been a little while. And then for some reason I thought it was cut down to a 4x4, so I cut Sharon down to a 4x4 as well. Turned out it wasn't an as well situation. Turned out that it was going to be a little bit smaller. So I decided to use that space for my title. So that is where the Major Heart Eyes is coming in. I'm going to pop down that little kind of asterisk over here on Major Heart Eyes. It doesn't stay there. It ultimately goes in the bin, but I'm feeling good about everything else that I've used. Now, I do mess around with this arrow a little bit. I'm not exactly sure if I want it underneath the photo mat, part of the photo mat. Ultimately, I decide on placing the arrow where the pink and the blue paper join together. I think that gives me the best contrast, so the arrow doesn't get lost on the background. Because even though there are bold stripes of color on the background, there's so much white that the white stuff just kind of sinks into it, and you totally lose it. So I pulled out two different die cut bins, you guys. I pulled out my 49 Margaret Spectrum Sherbet bin in the blues and the greens, and I also pulled out my Cocoa Vanilla Studio die cut bin. Now, I usually don't do my die cuts by manufacturer. They're done by feeling, but in this case, Cocoa Vanilla has its own feeling. Like, I haven't found anything that's really like feels like Cocoa Vanilla, and there's so much of the 49 in market that it just needed to be by itself. Let's just be straight up honest. Plus, I figure I've got two different color bins, and I can just pull them out as I'm pulling other stuff out as well, and just use up the bits. So I did some rainbows up at the top under the major heart eyes. I have the die cut rainbow and then the circular rainbow that I popped up on some pop foam just to give the layout a little bit of lift. Now I was thinking about putting that heart right over top of the rainbow, but ultimately it felt like it was too busy up there. It's kind of funny because I'm worried about everything sinking into the pattern paper on this layout. And even though I'm worrying about that, I really don't want to go super more is more on this layout, because I think it's really easy to go so much that you're going to lose the focus, and that is Sharon and I on the wing wall in Texas. So I think having that dark section where I've cut out the background paper really does help kind of bring your eye to those photographs. And I especially like the fact that I have the border around the entire layout, because otherwise I feel like with the way the diagonal stripes are kind of going, it just kind of floats off into the ether. And the page is kind of just like, woo, and doesn't, I really wish that I could talk to you guys face to face so you could see like my facial expressions and my hand movements and everything like that. Because I really feel like it would probably add a lot and you'd understand where I'm coming from. Or you might just think I'm a little bit more of a psychopath than you already do. Either way, it's fine. It's fine. So I just used the Chroma Mist from Brutus Monroe in Ornament Gold. And I am hoping that this is going to be my replacement Heidi Swapp Color Shine in the gold, because that sucker is almost gone, and I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. I haven't used it because it's almost gone, and they don't make it anymore, and I didn't have a replacement, and I wasn't a fan of the Liquitex acrylic ink. I love Liquitex acrylic ink, not a fan of it as my splatter. So far, so good. Loving the splatter, loving how it looks when it's dry. It's not giving me any oily halos. It's beautiful. I'm loving it. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.